All right, I'm going to start this recording again here. I seem to have got it working, but well, who knows as I go through and try this right here. This is the Altera website right here, and you'll need to go to products, and you need to go to Cordis Prime, and you may have to log in first and create an account. Right now I'm not logged in, but that's there. And what we want to do is hit download, and you want to go to the light edition right there. Download now. Right there. And you want to make sure you grab the Windows. You can do a direct download or use the download manager right there. It doesn't really matter. And you want to download version 3.13.1 is the one I'm going to use for now right there. And this one requires that there. And download it. It takes right there. And you want to grab the combined files right here. And this is right here. Updates. I don't know what updates this is telling me that there. So again, we're just going to grab this right here. It takes forever to download this thing right here. Right here. Update 4, download the selected files. I'm not going to go through here. And save right there. And it's going to download, and this is actually just downloading an update right there. So it's relatively quick, but there, I'm not going to go through that there. Once it downloads, it's going to be a file like this right here. It's a tar file is what it is. And if you do go to properties, you'll see that it's a WinZip file, a tar file right there. You can right click this and tell it if you got WinZip installed. Extract the folder right there. Here's the folder. It's going to have two files. One is that there. The install takes for freaking ever. Pardon my French on that there, but I think it was probably a half hour or better right there. So, and there's nothing magical about the install. You just follow all the defaults out there. So now that I've got it installed, I'm going to go ahead and run it. Now it's going to look different than this here. I'm going to go ahead and create the project right here. So I'm just going to bring this over here and right there and just kind of follow through the steps here. Right there, I'm going to create a new project. I'm just going to create it on the desktop. That there. Now, by the way, the board I'm using is different than yours, so the pinouts I'll use when I do the pinouts will be different than yours. Right there. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, I was moving this around here earlier, so let's just delete that there. So, and just that there. Actually, this looks like my board right there. Actually, that there. Evidently, I was right there. This is ECET230. This is my board, but your board was different right there. Because this is the Cyclone 3 part, and mine's the Cyclone 2 right there. So if I expand this out, this is the part number that I use right there, which is almost impossible to read. And this is the part number that you will use that again, right there. So we can see side by side the two boards right there. They're very similar to each other. So there, it doesn't make that much difference which one you're using. Matter of fact, I actually use another board by a company called ECET230 right there. ECET230 DE0 right there. And they actually make a nano board now that's even smaller, but that there would. And this is for a company from Taiwan makes that there. Okay, let me just kind of go through here and again, I'm just going to zoom page width right there. So these are the two boards right there. This is your board. This is the board I've got. I just put them both on that there. So get there. So we're going to go ahead and open the Altera window right there. And I'm going to create a new project right here. Again, right here, introduction, right there, working directory here. Again, we're going to just place it on the desktop right there, and I'm going to create a new folder and call it just test1 right there. Select folder right there. We're going to call this project test1 right there. We will add the files as we create them right there. Now here's where we're going to differ. I'm using a Cyclone 2. And let me pull up my board right here so I can see it right there. And mine is a 2C. You know what? I'll be honest with you. That's blurred enough where I can't read it, so I've got the board sitting here. And actually, you can, I think I've got the camera on. You can see there's my board right there, right here. That's that board there. I'm going to put on my glasses. And, oh, my wife turned off the light there. Get on my little light here. And magnifying glass time, simply because it's not enough light here. And it's a EP2C8, Q208. So let's see if we can find it. 2CQ. No, that's a 2CQ5. 2C. No. 2C8Q. 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 I believe that's it there. C7, is that a C7? It's a C8 right there. So the part number, I'm going to read it off my board here. I've got a EP2C, EP2C, Q208, Q208C8. And there's a C8N at the end, but that the 8N there. So again, you will use whatever part number is on your board right there. Right there. Let me shut off my little light there. This here, just leave that all blank. We can actually hit the finish at this point right there. Now, once we've done this, we can go back to our split screen right there. And we're going to go through here, and then we're going to create a new file. And we're going to create a VHDL file. And it's going to be that there. And we're just going to copy it straight from here. You know that there. So we've already gone through and created the project. This happens to be your board right here. That there. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to create our file. And I'm just going to copy it straight from that there into T. Test1 is, and capitalization doesn't really matter here. Port A, B, C, D, in bit right there, Y1, Y2, out bit. Now notice we have to put the parentheses there to close that. And end test 1 right there. Now we're going to create the architecture. Right there, circuit. Now the first part actually is kind of a black box just telling us what our circuit's supposed to look like. That there. Circuit of test 1 right there is begin right there. And then we're going to say Y1 will receive A and B right there. Y2 is going to receive, and again, I don't see the circuit shown that this would equate to, but we're going to not worry about that right there. This is going to receive A and B or C right there, or B and C and not D right there, and end circuit, and circuit right there, and that ends our file right there. So again, I just copied this right here. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and save it. Test 1, we're going to add it to the current project right there, and then we're going to compile it. Project compile right there. And assuming that I did everything right, it'll come back here and says a bunch of warnings. Right there, we haven't assigned pins, we haven't done anything with timing, we haven't assigned all kinds of things. Warnings, for the most part, we can ignore. We haven't put any clocks in. We haven't put any design constraint files in, which we won't in this class. We don't have any parallel compilation. It's not licensed. We can't do that there. All our unused pins haven't been specified. That one is one that I would suggest we fix right there. I'm going to suggest we fix that one there. What this warning is telling us is that we haven't told it what to do with unused pins, and I typically like to, in the device, tell it on my unused pins, right there, configuration, or general. Here's our unused pins. I haven't run the software, and we're just going to change that to input try stated with right there. So that there, because what happens is if any unused pins are just going to be taken to a ground, and that's fine unless we're recompiling it there. And I've actually burned up a board one time by not doing that, so I've got kind of that there. So okay, now at this point it's been compiled. We can go ahead and recompile it again, since I changed that to make sure I only got 11 warnings this time, right there. Now here's where things are going to differ a fair amount from the slides here, because we're using a different simulator and it's going to look considerably different right here, right there. And again, we've got a couple of things that I think are missing here from right there. So we're going to go through and we're going to do this. I'm just going to give some basic instructions on how to do this as we go through it. So we're going to have a file, and we're going to create a new file, and we're going to use what's called the University Program Vector Waveform file. They took this out of version 10, 11, and 12, and I think actually 13.1 they added back on. This is a simulation that it's only used for universities. Now people will go through it and they'll use the microsim that they'll run the simulation that using an external software package. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to create a universe wave file right there. And it looks something like this right here. And this looks a lot fairly similar. We right click here and we insert nodes. And we're going to use the node finder. And we're going to just tell it to list all of our pins. And we're just going to move them over right there. So there's our 4 input pins right here. And we need to do a few things here. First off, we need to set our end time. And I'm going to set this to say 2 microseconds. Then I'm going to set our grid time to, and I'm just going to say 50 nanoseconds right there. Now you can, as long as there, and then I can right click this here, or excuse me, this is saying zoom. Okay, our zoom out is Control Shift Space. Control Shift Space right there, and that's not Control Shift Space. Oh, okay, this is just telling me that my update is out there. Put it in the window. Actually, I think I screwed up here. End time is not that there. This is supposed to be our 2, we'll say 5 microseconds right here. And then our grid time. Set grid size. That's supposed to be our 50 nanoseconds. All right. There we go. And then we need to go through here, and I'm going to follow theirs, but I'm going to show you a shortcut right here. Here we've done that there, and they're saying that we're going to set our grid size, each one of these. This one here we're setting a clock there, and we're going to change it right there. But so what we do here is we insert node. Actually, this one's different right here because there we actually need to select all right here, and then we're going to tell it we want to put a clock in, and our period is going to be, we'll say 100 nanoseconds right here, right there. Then we do the same thing for our next one right here, and we're going to say our period is going to be 200 nanoseconds right there. Then our next one is going to be, and again, I'm using this for the first time, we're going to say 400 nanoseconds right there. And then our last one is going to be, excuse me, right here, clock, we're going to say 800 nanoseconds right there. So this looks like what we've got, and basically you can see that we've got right there, and then of course we can Control Shift plus or minus, and zoom is Control Shift Space. Zoom in, Control Shift Space. Control Shift Space allows us to zoom in and out. Actually, it looks like it's only got a couple seconds. All right, once we've got that done, let's go ahead and save this right there. And I'm just going to call it Test 1. Right there. Test 1. Save. Right there. And we can then, once we've done this, we can tell it to do our functional simulation. Right there. And it says errors occurred. Why did we get errors? Let me close this here, and right there. We don't want to do a new, we just want to open that there. Open. Your waveform file. You know what? I bet you I test one right there. Open. I didn't add it to the project right there. These two, I think we need to make those undefined right there because we haven't run the simulation right there. Let's go through and run the functional simulation. And loading design right there. Ah, why did that there? Let's go back here and let's rerun the compiler right there. And I actually had this running earlier today. All kinds of warnings because right there. Let's go ahead and open that again. Test one.vwf right here, and it did not work again. Let's close this, and whenever I get in this problem right here, let's test one. Where is vector waveform file? Obviously, I've done something wrong right there. So let's close this. Let's close this and let's start over again. We're actually not going to start over again, but we're going to open our most recent file right there. There's our file. Let's go through and compile it again. And it's giving me all kinds of warnings up there. And I'm just curious what these warnings are right here. Groove ignored assignments of that there. So it's got some warnings right here that it shouldn't have, which tells me that probably the best thing to do is to start over again, which is not my idea of fun, but right there, let's just open test again, wherever it is. Here it is, right over here. Whenever I have that, I'm going to, and whenever you run into this right here, properties, see, this says it's a hard disk image file. So that's my file. So let's just go ahead and delete everything else right here and start our design over again right there. And yeah, it's probably good that you see me right there. Let's go ahead and create a new project again from the start here. This time we're going to tell it that we're going to use test one right there. Select folder. Name of this project, test one right there. File name right there. And I'm going to right there. It doesn't show that there, so we'll add it later. Again, we're going to go through and I'm going to hit the cyclone tube port right there. Mine's a 28C8. 2C8Q. There's mine right there. Next, finish, finish. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open test 1 right there and just resave it right there. And let's go through here and add this file to the project right there. Add current file to the project right there, which since I already created it, I have to add it back. That's there. So now once we've done this, we can go ahead and recompile it right there. And again, I should get there. 12 errors. Let's go through under the assignments device. Again, I like to set that there. Recompile it right there. Now I'm going to go through and try to create the simulation file by hand again. So new file and vector waveform file. Okay. Edit. End time. We're going to set that to 2 microseconds. Set our grid size to 50 nanoseconds right there. So let's then right click here, enter node, node finder, list them all, bring them over here. Okay. Now I'm going to show a little trick here. I'm going to move this up here and reverse the order here, just simply right here. And then I'm just going to right click them all and group these as all inputs. And I'm just going to set a hexadecimal. Okay. Then I'm going to set this as a count value right there. Transitions account that there. And we're going to tell it to transition every 50 nanoseconds right there. So that they're actually, I'm going to tell the transitions every 100 nanoseconds. Right there, count 100. Right there. And then I'm going to ungroup these. And we've got the same thing we had before. You know, the orders are reversed. I can move the orders back around to what it is. But by using that grouping right there, I don't have to go through and do them each individually. So at this point, I'm going to go through here and I'm going to do our file save as test 1 right there. And we should be able to just run our simulation right there at this point. And it still doesn't want to simulate right there. Why doesn't it want to simulate? Right there. So everything looks fine right here. Let's do the timing simulation. It may be right there. And what is going on here? Now it worked earlier. Right there, simulation. Oh, okay. That was something I forgot. I need to, under options, I need to tell it to use the quarter simulator right there. Now let's try it to run, tell it to run the simulation right there. And yeah, okay. Important step I forgot right here. Now that runs a timing simulation if we want to run the, or the functional if we want to run the timing simulation. This just shows our little bit of our propagation delays are shown are the only difference right there. So there's our simulation. We've got our simulation to work right there. So Again, an important step that I forgot. It's not going to be in here. That there. So you need to watch the video, pick that up. That there. Now we need to assign the pins. Now my pins are going to be different right there. I'm going to pause while I go hunt for my. Oh, I did forget to show you that this is the DE0 board that I use. It's a little bit different right there. So it's actually a little bit cheaper, but of course, you know, that there. So again, it's a different chip, different pin number right there. So I am looking here now for my pin outs right there. Let me get there. ECET board right there. So I have to look for the pins right here. And let me find something to pin to write down with here. And actually, we'll just bring, oh, it's already there. Two, okay, and three. Not there. Okay. Okay, this particular tells me that I've got some pins right here, right there. That's number one. That's not the right one. Number two. And rotate clockwise right here. So dip switch, these are my pins that I need to worry about right there. And right here, so dip switch 0, 1, 2, and 3, I'm going to use for A, B, C, and D right there. So 99, 88, 87, 86. So I come back to Portis right here. Assignments pins, my pin planner right there. And I just simply tell it, and I'm going to bring this up here as a right here. So as we, so I'm going to put on pin, I'm going to put, let's see, let me go back and look at my simulation right here. I don't have my simulation there. But as I recall, my least significant bit, I'm going to put on 0. So A is going to go on 99. Just put 99. B is going to go on 88, 87, and 86. My outputs, I'm going to put on, I'm going to put Y1, I'm going to put on pin 69, and on pin 55, I will put, actually 52, I'll put Y2 right there. So we assign her, oh, and what happened here, right here. Something didn't happen right there. Pin, we said this was going to be 99. This one is supposed to be 88. This one is supposed to be 87. This one is supposed to be 86. Right here, this output here. This is supposed, Something's not right. You know what? This looks like your. I don't think I've got the right pinouts for these right here. That's why it's that there. You know, I think I've got the new. I've got the wrong pinouts because this is a Cyclone 2 part, and this is the pinouts that there. So this is your part numbers right there. I can't run this lab at there. At there. Well, I can go through and get the at there. I'm just going to pick output pins, and hopefully I've got different ones right here. Just simply right there. I'm just going to pick pins, and I'm not going to program this right here because it's who knows what pins I'm going to be programming here. Evidently, I've got that there. So we go through and we assign our pins, and unfortunately, my pins are not right, are not correct for this for my board right there. I don't know what that there. As I said, I normally use the other board right there, but I'm going to go ahead and leave this here. I'm just not going to program the board. Now, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the board so that you can see that I do have a working board right there. Unfortunately, I do not know the pins right there. And that's an interesting problem I've got to get resolved at some point right there. But for our sake of our purpose, we'll just go through and leave this go at this point right there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and plug my board in. So I'm going to close this. Now, once you've assigned your pins, you need to recompile right there. So that's there. Now, here's the part that a lot of you have trouble with after it's done compiling. All kinds of warnings, which is not there because we not there. I'm going to go ahead and plug my board in. Now, sometimes you're very lucky, and this says, I am very lucky. It says installing USB blaster. So if it says it's installed the USB blaster, you're good to go. You just hit the programmer, hardware setup, right there, and it says no hardware, add hardware, and USB blaster. It does not see the hardware. Okay, this is what we have an issue with right here. Right here, JTAG setup right there, add server. So we do not see that there. Add device, and I'm going to tell it to add and we need to tell it, evidently we need to tell it which board we want to add right here. Right here it is. Okay. Delete that, delete this right here. Now this you didn't have to do under the old one. And actually this does not look right here either. Right there. Now this does not look right. Let me now bring up our system right here, and we need to bring up and customize our display. Is not right. Apps features not right. What I need to bring up, and typically I find it easier to come here and find my computer. Actually, and my computer, and manage right here. And we need to then at this point, once we have this here, view, and they've changed it so much over the years that device manager, right here, USB blaster. This is up. Okay, it did not find that there. This is the problem most of you are having. Update software. Browse my computer. Right here. Go to the Altera disk right here. And right there. And drivers right here. Just say drivers right there. Next. Install. Right there. Now we should have hardware set up. We should see the USB blaster right there. Add hardware. Actually, we should just be able to hit this one here. Close. USB blaster right there. Closed. Mode. Right there. Auto detect. Right there. And let me close this out here. And let me bring it back up again. Okay, there, now it finds it cleanly. Hit the start button, and it's programmed. Now, it doesn't work on mine because I've got the wrong pins. It should work on yours at this point right there, if you've got the right pins. Right there. I need to, there. I'm going to stop this here. This was a long video to get to where a lot of things didn't work right that there, but at least now it's at there. So again, I'm going to unplug this because I have no idea where the circuit's going on my board. I may fry this board right there. Actually, I'm going to, I did. And yeah, it's working. Yeah, I didn't burn up any pins. I need to actually get the right data sheet, or I probably, what I ought to do is call Ryan and get a new board. That's there. I've got my board is out of date. That's there. So that's just an issue here. I could, if anybody's interested, I could go back and redo this using the DE0, which I do have. That's what I normally use, to be honest with you, for testing. This is DE0, simply because, and the reason, find right there. The reason I use it is, quite honestly, is that I don't have to have a power supply with it. That there, I can just plug it in. Matter of fact, I'll spend a few minutes just showing you that one of the beauties of Altera is you can switch from board to board fairly quickly. Here, let me plug in my DE0 right here. Right here, you can see it. Here it's going, no power supply connected. Right there, let me unplug it. Or I just turn it off. That there, I can go back to my DE0 Parasitic DE0 manual right there. And the deer, right here's my manual. Bring it up. Here it is. And with a little bit of luck here, I'm going to bring this down here. Oh. Right here. This tells me that this is a EP3C16. Come back here, do assignment device, cyclone P3. And that's going to remove all that there. And again, we're saying that this is nope, wrong one. No. It won't let me do this until I do this here. And then let's go through here. Assignments, device, cyclone 3, Pacific, right there. This is a EP3C. It is a cyclone 3. Cyclone 3, EP3C. EP3C 16. 16. C16 44. Is that right? EP3C. P3C 16F 484. Again, we don't have to worry so much about that. So we hit OK right there. Then I come back over to here. And I find down buried in here. Right here, this is testing. I come on down here, buried further is my parts list, pins list. Right here. And right here. So I've got my three slide switches here. They're on the bottom. Again, I'm going to go 0, 1, 2, and 3 here. So assignments, pins. So this is going to be right here. So this is going to be J6. J6 right there. H5, H6, and G4 right here. Now that's right there. Our LEDs, I'm going to use J1 and I'm just going to use J2, one next to it right there. Right there. So close that, open this back up, recompile it, and make sure you recompile right there. And again, we get all the warnings here. Turn on the programmer. Turn on the board. Right here. hit the start button. And at this point here, and again, you can see as I flip these here, these switches, and it's up to you to, that's A and B, to verify the timing diagrams right there. Right there. So you would flip these switches along here in this particular case to verify whether or not you've got the right timing diagram right there. But you would use your board instead. But this operates the same right there. But the big difference here is that the only thing that I changed to use different boards is I changed the device right there to whatever device is on the board right there. And you have to assign the pins according to what pins are for your particular board. And as I said, I apologize for not having the right timing diagram for the board that I've got from the up there. It's because I've been using this small one up there. This is not quite as nice a board, but it does the job for what I've been doing up there. So with that, now I'm going to wind up this lecture right here.